And it came to pass, in the fullness of time, that a stirring began in the hearts of men and women across the land. A gentle nudge, unseen yet undeniable, swept through their spirits like the whisper of a distant wind. Many did not understand its meaning, but those who sought the Lord with open hearts began to perceive that God was calling them to rise, to move, to step into a season unlike any they had known before. For behold, the first sign appeared, a discontentment with the familiar ways of life. There were those who dwelt in safety and comfort, their needs met and their days predictable, yet a restlessness took hold of them. Their hearts no longer delighted in the works of their hands. Their souls yearned for something more. And it was said unto them, Do not harden your hearts, for the Lord your God is stirring within you a holy discomfort, that he may lead you from the confines of the familiar into the wide and boundless fields of his purpose. Thus it was with Abram, who dwelt in the city of Ur, a place of wealth and renown. Though he was surrounded by kin and the fruits of his labor, the Lord spoke to him, saying, Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. And though his heart was troubled at the thought of forsaking all he knew, Abram obeyed, for he trusted in the promise of God. So too did Moses, who turned his back on the treasures of Egypt, choosing instead to suffer with the people of God. For he considered disgrace for the sake of Christ greater riches than the treasures of Pharaoh's house. In like manner, the Spirit of the Lord stirs even now, awakening discontentment in the hearts of his children. Whether they labor in the fields, dwell in bustling cities, or live quietly among their families, they feel the pull of a higher calling. And they ask, Lord, what are you asking of me? To these, the answer comes, Step out in faith, for I am leading you to a season of growth and purpose. And the second sign came to pass. A hunger for the things of God. Those whom the Lord was calling found within themselves a thirst that could not be quenched by the world. Their souls longed for the presence of God. Their hearts burned to hear his word, and their spirits cried out for deeper communion with the Almighty. It was as David wrote, O God, you are my God, earnestly I seek you, my soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. And so, these seekers turned to the Scriptures, and their eyes were opened to truths they had not seen before. They knelt in prayer, and their spirits were strengthened by the whisper of God's voice. They gathered with fellow believers, and the fire of their faith burned brighter in the fellowship of the faithful. And it was said of them, Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. For even as a farmer prepares the soil before the planting of seed, so does the Lord prepare the hearts of his people before the new season. And those who respond to this hunger find themselves drawn into the secret place of intimacy with God, where he reveals his purposes and equips them for the path ahead. They understand that this hunger is not a fleeting feeling, but a divine invitation to draw nearer to the one who holds the answers to their every question. And lo, the third sign appeared. A clarity of purpose and a vision for the road ahead. Many who once walked aimlessly, unsure of their place in the grand tapestry of God's design, found their steps ordered by the Lord. As it is written, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. In the quiet moments of prayer, God began to unveil his plans for their lives. To some, he gave visions of ministries that would heal the brokenhearted and set captives free. To others, he spoke of new ventures that would bring light to places shrouded in darkness. And to all, he gave the assurance that their lives were precious in his sight, and their days were written in his book before one of them came to be. And it came to pass that these revelations filled their hearts with boldness and joy. They no longer questioned their worth or doubted their abilities, for they knew that the one who called them was faithful to complete the work he had begun in them. They cried out, "Here I am, Lord. Send me." But not all was easy, for the fourth sign came as closed doors and unexpected challenges. And the people cried out, "Lord, why have you allowed this?" Yet in the midst of their trials, the voice of the Lord came to them, saying, "Be still and know that I am God. These hardships are not to harm you but to refine you, to prepare you for the greater work that lies ahead." Consider Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers and cast into prison for a crime he did not commit. Though his circumstances were dire, he remained steadfast in his faith, and the Lord was with him. In time, Joseph was raised to a position of great authority, where he saved many lives during a time of famine. What his brothers intended for harm, God used for good. So too did David endure years of hardship before ascending to the throne of Israel. Pursued by Saul and forced to hide in caves, he could have given in to despair. Yet David trusted in the Lord, and his trials became the forge in which his character was shaped. When the time came, he was ready to fulfill his destiny as a man after God's own heart. And so it is with those who face closed doors and unexpected challenges today. Though the path may be difficult, they are called to trust in the Lord. For he is making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Each trial is a stepping stone, preparing them for the blessings and responsibilities of the new season. And at last, the fifth sign was revealed: unexpected opportunities and divine connections. In the midst of their trials and preparation, doors began to open that no man could shut. New relationships formed, and opportunities arose that seemed to be orchestrated by the hand of God himself. And the people marveled, saying, "Surely the Lord is at work in our lives. For we could not have planned this on our own." It was as the scriptures declare, "For we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Those who once felt lost and unsure now walked with confidence, for they saw the hand of God guiding their every step. And they gave thanks, saying, "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." And so the new season began, a season of purpose, growth, and abundant blessings. The people stepped forward in faith, embracing the changes and challenges with hearts full of expectation. For they knew that the God who had called them was faithful, and he would surely complete the work he had begun. Let those who read these words take heart, for the same God who led Abram, Moses, Joseph, and David is leading his people still. Be attentive to the signs of his guidance. And do not fear the unknown, for the Lord your God is with you. He is preparing you for a new season, a season of purpose, growth, and blessings beyond what you can imagine. Trust in him, and step forward with confidence, for the best is yet to come. And all the people said, Amen.